Hello and welcome to another one of our videos today, where I'm going to be talking about specifically back pain and the type of stretching that I see people doing. So very important to understand is you really don't want to stretch like this, and I'm going to explain why. So basically, if you wanted to get a herniated disc, if you're a perfectly healthy person and you wanted to get one, start stretching like this all the time, and very soon you'll find you'll have back problems. This is just not a good stretch. Repeatedly flexing your back like this is the fastest way to get one. All right, and if you've already got a back problem, then you definitely don't want to do it, because you'd already used up your chances, and you're just going to get there in the end. Yoga. Some people might get along with it quite well. Maybe they've got some good stability in their hips, but generally a lot of people do not, and we see this so many times. So I really want to do this video just to help people to understand this. All right, so a lot of people are doing these stretches in the belief that they're stretching their hamstring, when they're really not stretching their hamstring at all. They're just irritating their sciatic nerve and overstretching their lower back. So they're really stretching their lower back excessively and flexing their spine, and at the same time destroying their discs. All right, so we know in the gym, if we saw someone doing a deadlift like this, it would be a disaster. All right, and very, very quickly this person would have a back problem. So the load speeds up the pain, and the excessive the bulge will happen much quicker. The stretching will do the same thing, and even movement, just repeatedly bending like this. So sort of, people it just creeps up on them. They don't even go to gym and do deadlifts. They're just picking up some leaves, or they're tying their shoes up. Sit-ups, poor training techniques. Anything that's repeatedly flexing the spine and not using your hips to do all of the work is gonna just give you a problem. All right, so it makes no sense to do any of these stretches. There's so many better ways to do hamstring stretches. The best way to do it is lying on your back. There's plenty of videos on our YouTube channel showing you how to do that. All right, so just understand that this will happen quickly, as if you're picking up a fridge or something like that. This will do the same thing. It'll just happen over a longer period of time, and one day you go to tie your shoes up and bang. All right, so you just don't want to spend time doing stuff like that. I'm going to show you 3 common stretches that I see people using as even worse is to seeing them being used as a warm-up. You just really don't want to do this. So I'm going to show you what they are and walk you through each one and show you what happens.
First one, if I run through this is like the hurdler stretch, sometimes known as. This is a terrible position to stretch a hamstring, and again I'm going to pause this, and you're going to see what the problem. There's many things that are going on here, but firstly, this straight leg is a sciatic nerve stretch. It's not even a hamstring stretch anyway. When the knee is bent, locked out like that, you're very much stretching the nerve. You're getting a little bit of hamstring, but you're really pissing off the nerve, especially when you pull that toe back towards you, as Ali's doing, and at the same time bend your neck over. You're creating huge tension through the sciatic nerve. If you have nothing wrong with you, you may get away with it for a while, but continually doing this, you're actually creating a lot of problems for yourself. The worst thing that I see with this is actually this position of the spine here. You've taken the spine into a huge flexion. This position, if you imagine if she was standing, that would be the worst looking deadlift you've ever seen in your life. Now, people who have blown their back out with a bulging disc, herniated disc, whatever you want to call it, rarely is it from lifting something heavy. It's always done from tying their shoes up, lifting up a pencil, just bending over to do something insignificant in this posture. So repetitively flexing this spine with a straight leg is basically pushing the disc out, and then you're going to have sciatic nerve problems. So often you'll see people doing this because they've got like a sciatic nerve problem, so they think stretching is a good idea. In fact, stretching it is actually making it worse. There's going to be something compressing on it around in this region that's going to give you a calf problem, even an ankle problem, even a neck problem sometimes. So doing this stretch is an absolute no-no. So don't ever do this. I'm going to show you in a second what's the better alternative. But first I'm going to show you 2 other versions that are even worse than this. All right, so hope you enjoyed that. Okay, here's the part 2 of these hamstring stretches. This one's even worse than the first one. Just being in a standing position, you can even it just doesn't look good any way you look at this. And again, you're not even really stretching the hamstring all that much. You're just irritating the nerve, and you're really stretching the lower back out. So the lower back is going under huge more stretching than the hamstring itself. And you would see this if you lie down flat on your back, which I'll show you at the end is the correct way to do these stretches, and you would actually get a true indication of what the hamstring length is really like. But again, this is a recipe for a disc bulge by doing this stretch. There is nothing to be gained, only a lot to be lost. So whatever you do, do not do this stretch. Okay, third stretch here is this is like from the old PE days, the windmill, whatever you want to call it. But again, I really don't understand what this is meant to do, other than just irritate your back. All right, many people may have done it to say they've got nothing wrong, but there's just so many better ways to achieve the goal of what you're looking for than doing it like this. It comes with so much risk and just little reward. Again, if we just look at the spinal position here, again, you see huge amount of trunk flexion. This is where the disc is going to be pushed out. You're really irritating your sciatic nerve at the same time. You're not really stretching your hamstrings. You're just stretching your lower back and irritating your nerve. All right, that is really all you are doing here. If you are someone with a bulging disc right now, you would never do this exercise. You know, if you can keep your curve, you may be able to do it and have no trouble with it. But I don't argue why you're even doing it in the first place. So whatever you do, do not do this stretch. All right. So and the other two prior to that. Now I'm going to show you the best way to do your hamstring stretch, and that's the safest way. Even if you don't have pain, you would want to do it this way, because why would you want to do them and get in pain? All right. So I'm going to go through that right now, which is going to be actually very simple and a lot easier to do. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. See you in a sec.
Okay. So I hope you enjoyed those and get a bit of an understanding of things that you don't want to be doing. Like we were saying before, why do people do these? Because most people back pain have sciatica symptoms, which get a lot of irritation in the hamstrings and the calf, but really it's a problem in the back. It's just referring down the nerve, but the problem's up here from flexing it all the time. So using the stretch, it just makes no sense. All right, and the reason that you've been flexing your back so much is because you've got stiff hips. You really should be stretching the hips and teaching yourself how to stabilize and strengthen. I actually find stretching is very ineffective for a back pain person, and more effect out of getting learning how to strengthen and stabilize more so than the stretching. And like we said before, the hamstrings are rarely the tight part, it's always the hips. Sciatica, and also very importantly with sciatica, if you want to irritate and make it angry, start stretching it. Right, that's the last thing you'd want to do. Nerve flossing, which is down here, and there's a video on my YouTube channel. You can find out how to do that. That's a much more effective way of managing it. Doesn't get rid of it, but it definitely manages the irritation, helps you sleep better at night. But really, to get rid of it, you're going to need to strengthen and stabilize to hold and learn how to bend properly. So this is what I'm going to go through quickly now. I'm just going to walk through this very fast. There's heaps of information you can get on with a lot more about this, but basically, like I was saying, hips are usually the problem, and as is the thoracic spine. So it's funny, isn't it? The two areas that you don't think that are anything wrong with them, they don't have any pain usually, but they're the two areas that are flexing the back all the time, and then you're getting referred pain in the hamstring. So the area that you're probably stretching are just making everything worse, and the ones that you're leaving alone are also making everything worse. So this is where just poor education. And even some therapists will start stretching people's hamstrings. It's like, why? Why? You're not going to do anything. You're just going to make everything the same, or if not worse. Learning stabilizer. So if you want to do warm-ups, don't do stretching. Do warm-ups. Like use this drill here. Like if you just did this, that would be the best thing you could do. Activate some glutes with simple bridges, and try to activate them more so than the hamstrings. Abdominal exercise, this one probably not the best one if you have a disc bulge, but simple stability drills are a much better idea than doing static stretching. And most importantly, learn how to bend. As I was saying, I've got a quote here: tight muscles show themselves lying down, but the weak ones will show themselves standing up. And in this case, people just poorly bending, they just know how to stabilise, so the only way they can do it is to flex their back. So if you want to save yourself, learn how to hip hinge. In this case, we're just getting we use this exercise, we just touch the kettlebell, we don't actually lift it, we just learn over to how to bend and keep the neutral position in the spine here. And it's basically just a bending exercise. If it was to progress in the gym, it would be a deadlift, but in the real world, it's picking up your bag, it's picking a pen up, it's tying your shoes up. So all these different things, learning how to bend, saving your back and using your hips. It's really what you should be doing. You won't have to waste your time stretching all the time. For more information, like I said, I've only really skimmed over the what to do. You'll find heaps of it there's heaps of articles we have on our website, like I said, heaps of videos. This is our step-by-step program that takes you through everything, from assessments to the identifying stretches, how to do them, mobility drills, stability drills, strengthening, and then also power stuff. There's a 90-minute video and there's a PDF book that comes with it that takes you through the whole lot. So if you want extra help, go to our website, www.narivspt.com.au, and visit the online shop, and you'll be able to find how to get that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and it gives you a bit of insight as to things that may be irritating you, that you thought were helping you, and if it helps you improve, it's a good thing. All right, I'll see you on our next video.